Good morning, Pittsburgh. You're listening to Maximize Living Radio. I'm Dr. Alex Pattison, on air with Dr. Aaron Greiner. And as always this morning, we're here to teach you, to inspire you, and to coach you to your maximize living potential. If you're just tuning in for the first time ever, we are in the midst of a discussion on cancer. And I think this is the perfect time to be having this discussion because we're in the middle of October. We're inundated with cancer prevention and cancer awareness. We've been sharing with our listeners over the last couple of weeks where we're at right now in the war on cancer, and it's kind of dismal. It's 1 in 2 men and 1 in 3 women, according to the American Cancer Society, that will be diagnosed with cancer in their lifetime. And according to the Journal of Lancet Oncology, one of the top medical research institutions on the planet when it comes to cancer, shows that cancer rates are on the rise. And as I have this conversation on the radio and as I have it in my clinic, one of the things that I've been hearing back from the community and from our practice members is, but doc, haven't I been hearing that cancer rates and survival rates are improving? Aren't things getting better? And this is where the story really gets interesting, listeners. Cancer gets preferential treatment when it comes to a disease on survival rates and cure rates. And what I mean by that is you're considered a cancer survivor so long as you are alive 5 years after your diagnosis. That's not the case for a heart attack or a stroke or diabetes or a mental illness. That's not the case for a gastrointestinal problem. But when it comes to cancer, so long as you have breath in your lungs 5 years after your diagnosis, you are considered a cancer survivor. Now, what does that do statistically to the data? That means you could live for 5 years and 1 day, so you've hit your 5-year threshold, you are counted as a cancer survivor, but if 1 day later after that 5-year time period you die from cancer and those numbers wash out. Here's the scarier part yet. You may live for 10 years after your diagnosis, so you've lived for 2, you died. Now that cancer death wipes out 1 survival, but you're left with 1 survival. My mother has been alive. She's been a cancer survivor for 15 years. She doesn't count as 1 cancer survivor. She counts as 3. And it's this manipulation of the data to manipulate your head and your mind that you think that we as an American society are winning this war on cancer is, to me, one of the worst things that could be perpetrated on the American public. We are literally moving backwards in this war, and if we want to win and we want to equip ourselves to become a cancer killer, we must understand what cancer is, what fuels cancer, and then effectively how to eliminate that from your body so that you can kill it. And that's exactly what we're going to be discussing with Pittsburghers this morning on Maximize Your Health Radio. You can't afford to miss a single second of this morning's program. I want you to imagine this for me, listeners. Let's say that right now I wanted to get to Orlando. I wanted to take my kids down to Disney World. So I get in my car and I leave Pittsburgh and I start driving north. Drive 4 hours, I get to around Buffalo, I get to, close to Niagara, and I look at my GPS and I say, boy, not only am I no closer to Orlando right now, but I'm actually 4 hours further. I'm 4 hours out of where I need to be. So I pull my car off to the side of the road and I go into a Corvette dealership and I buy the fastest Corvette that I can buy, and I continue to drive north. I am not getting any closer to my destination. And when it comes to cancer, this is really one of the reasons why the statistics are so dismal, is that conventional medicine is heading in the wrong direction. If we look at the newest research on this disease, what we understand is that cancer is more of a symptom than a disease process itself. And I'm going to go through that in a moment. But I think this is a perfect analogy of us heading in the wrong direction. Let's say in my backyard that a raccoon gets into my trash and knocks my trash can over. And I don't see that that's happened. I'm away. Maybe I'm down in Florida with my family on that vacation, but I'm heading in the wrong direction. But I come back and I see that my garbage is all over my backyard, and there's rats and there's buzzards and there's maggots and there's flies, and boy, it's just driving me crazy. So I call an exterminator. He kills all the rats. I have my friend come over who's a hunter. He shoots all the buzzards. We have somebody that takes care of pests, and they spray for all the flies and the maggots, and they kill all of those things in my backyard. The rats are gone, the buzzards are gone, the flies are gone, the maggots are gone, but nobody cleans up my trash. What is going to come back next week? The buzzards, the flies, the maggots, and the rodents. This has been our approach to cancer for the last 55 years, to eliminate the rodents, the flies, and the maggots, but not change the environment that caused those things to take place. If we want to truly become a cancer killer, we need to stop attacking the cancer, and we need to understand what caused the cancer to develop inside of the body. As you're listening to my program right now, you have anywhere between 10 to 10,000 different cancer cells inside of your body. Your body was designed to kill the cancer. We were created and designed to kill it. The only reason the cancer can flourish inside of the body is when the internal environment changes to a point where it can no longer keep up with killing these cells. So I'm not here to tell you that if you've done chemo or radiation and surgery in the past that you have made a mistake. I would never tell you that. I want to encourage you to continue a fight against this cancer. We have to be relentless against it. But all of those treatments, cancer, chemo, and radiation, they do nothing to clean up the trash dump and everything to get rid of the rodents and to get rid of the flies and the maggots, the byproducts of the problem. And if we don't remove the underlying cause, if we don't remove the trash from my backyard, it's going to continue to happen over and over and over again. And in fact, it's going to get worse and worse and worse as that continues to decompose in my backyard. When we really get down and we buckle down and we study cancer like myself and Dr. Nick and Dr. Aaron has done, is that what we see is that a cancer cell and a cancer proliferation is an adaptation of what was a normal healthy cell into a cancerous cell as a result of the environment not being favorable for a cancer cell or for a healthy cell in order to survive. Let me put it to you this way. I work out pretty hard, and on both of my hands are calluses. When I go into the gym and I'm picking up weight, that weight is ripping at my hands. And the cells in my hands have some choices. They can continue to fall apart and let that barbell rip through my hands, or they can proliferate and adapt and change and create a cancer. And create a callus. And it protects my hands. When we continue to eat poorly, we put bad foods inside of our colon. We destroy it. There's toxins in there. We don't drink enough water. We put alcohol in there. We put preservatives. We put all of these bad things inside of our colon, and healthy cells cannot live there. They're damaged. They adapt. They're damaged. They adapt. They're damaged. They adapt. And that's what proliferates cancer from growing inside of the body. Listen, you think sun causes cancer or sunburn causes cancer? No. What causes cancer from the sun is constant burning of our skin. That constant sunburn that causes the cells to adapt and become cancerous. It's this damage that causes cancer. So if we're not cleaning up our trash dump and we're just attacking the maggots and the flies and we're just attacking the tumor and the mass, it's going to come back. And if I can get individuals to really begin to understand cancer at this fundamental level, they say, Doc, I get it. It makes sense. What I need to do is I need to change my internal environment so that these cancer cells can no longer proliferate, so that I can clean up that internal environment so when they're gone, they cannot come back. And that's exactly what we're going to be teaching right here in Pittsburgh in just a few short days, October 24th. That's this coming Monday in 2 locations in this great city. We have a South Hills location with myself at Gianna Villa's Family Restaurant. We have a Cranberry Township with Dr. Nick and Dr. Aaron at Bravo Family Restaurant. Both of the events are going to start at 6:30 p.m. promptly. And today only, this is your last opportunity, listeners. You have to pick up the phone and you have to give us a call at 724-766-0154. By calling that number for $20, we're going to show you how to clean up that internal environment. Now, not only get rid of the tumorous mass, the maggots and the buzzards and the flies and the rodents, but how to remove that trash from your body so that you have this amazing, pristine environment that only healthy cells can thrive and flourish in. The cost is, again, I'm going to mention this one more time because I think this is really important. It's only $20, and that does include your meal. Seating is extremely limited. I know I only have like 3 or 4 spots left remaining on Monday evening in my particular location. I know Dr. Nick and Dr. Aaron, you have just a few remaining yourselves. So if you're listening right now and you want to begin to learn how to change that internal environment, how to become a cancer killer, give us a call at 724-766-0154. That number one more time for your $20 ticket this coming Monday in the South Hills or Cranberry Township at 6:30 p.m. is 724-766-0154. If you're just tuning in, you're listening to Maximize Living Radio. That was Dr. Aaron Greiner. I'm Dr. Alex Pattison. We're discussing with you this morning everybody's worst enemy, and that is cancer. This is a disease process. This is an enemy that we're dealing with that is worse than any natural disaster, any foreign government, any terrorist cell. Nobody does more damage to our society than cancer. And what we want to do is enlighten Pittsburghers and really give Pittsburghers the understanding of what this disease is so that we truly have a chance of combating this enemy on the front line. And where are we at on the front line right now? Just a couple of years, well, actually just last year, Time Magazine published a journal, an article on breast cancer, and it was titled, "What If I Just Do Nothing?" And they're talking about breast cancer and the effectiveness of current treatments. And what they're finding is that women who decide that they're not going to do anything sometimes have better outcomes than women who jump headfirst into conventional medical treatments. And one of the reasons for this, and one of the reasons why they're seeing this, again, comes back to what cancer is. A lot of you think that you got cancer and then you became sick. You think that your cancer made you sick. No. Your sickness caused your cancer. And I think that's a mantra that we need to understand inside and out. Your cancer didn't make you sick. Your sickness caused your cancer. And if all that you do is cut out and remove the cancer, but you do nothing to remove the underlying sickness that caused that cancer to proliferate inside of the body, then we do nothing to truly combat this disease on the front line. And while we may remove and cut off its energy, and we may cut off its ammunition, its supply short term, and the long term, it's going to come back, and it's going to come back with a vengeance. So what we need to understand, what listeners need to understand, what Pittsburghers need to understand, is that cancer doesn't make you sick. Your sickness caused your cancer. And if we can really begin to just, every time I say that, every time I really get down in front of a group of individuals, or I get knee to knee and eye to eye and heart to heart with somebody one-on-one, and we really begin to understand the human body, we understand sickness and disease, specifically on cancer, the hair on the back of my head stands up. The hair on my arms stand up whenever I really make that statement, because to me, it's one of the most profound statements that we can understand about our bodies, is that we are not victims of circumstance. We are truly in charge of what is going to happen to us in the future. University of Columbia, just a few short years ago, found that 2% of disease, 2%, are purely genetic in nature. The other 98% of disease is lifestyle induced. But you pick up a medical journal, and none of these medical journals want to talk to you about lifestyle, and all of them want to talk to you about this new genetic drug that's about ready to hit the market. Why do we want to take 2% and attack the 2% when we could drastically change the outcome of our world and make it a better place if we went after the 98%? To me, it's crazy the direction that we're heading right now in this war of cancer. We're waging it in the wrong direction. We're fighting the 2 and then forgetting about the 98%. To me, let's get this message into the masses. Whether you have a cancer diagnosis right now, whether you have a family prognosis, whether you're a family history of cancer, if you have a family member or a loved one that's suffering from cancer, you've gone through chemo or radiation and surgery in the past, it is imperative that we understand this cancer inside and out. Myself, I wake up every morning and I take a handful of supplements, and I exercise, and I drink clean filtered water, and I eat organic foods, and I juice, and I do smoothies, and I get my chiropractic adjustments, and I do my spinal rehabilitative exercises. I have a positive mental mindset. I'm reading. I'm always pushing myself because I understand that this enemy is on my doorstep. It's on every Pittsburgher's doorstep. It's 1 in 2 men, they're going to hear the words, it's cancer. It's 1 in 3 women, they're going to hear the words, it's cancer. It's the leading cause of death when it comes to a disease in children in the United States over the age of 1 year old. And we're expecting, according to the National Cancer Institute, for these numbers to get worse. And we're going to continue to wage the war that we're waging and losing miserably. Listen, if we were fighting a foreign government and we were getting worse and worse and worse every single year, but we continued the same battlefield offensive, the American public would revolt. We need a revolution when it comes to this disease. We need to understand what it is and how to attack it. And that's what we're going to be teaching on Monday, October 24th, right here in Pittsburgh. I've said it over and over and over again. We just have a few short minutes remaining on the program today. So I need you to pick up the phone and I need you to call 724-766-0154. Get yourself registered for Cancer Killers. That's this coming Monday at 6:30 p.m. at 2 locations here in the city. We always want to make it easy for Pittsburghers to attend. We know that we Pittsburghers have an aversion to tunnels and to bridges. So we have a Cranberry Township location with Dr. Nick and Dr. Aaron at Bravo Family Restaurant. We have a Gianna Villa's location in the South Hills with myself. Both of these events are going to start at 6:30 p.m. The cost today and today only, you literally have 35 minutes to give us a call to get these tickets, is $20. So it's $20 for an amazing, healthy meal at 2 fantastic Pittsburgh restaurants, as well as the information to equip yourself to become a cancer killer. 724-766-0154 is the number to call for your $20 ticket in either Gianna Villa's Family Restaurant in the South Hills, hosted by myself, or Bravo Family Restaurant in Cranberry Township, hosted by Dr. Nick and Dr. Aaron. If you've been trying to get through to us this morning and you've been unable to, don't worry, you're not the only one. I'm getting texts right now as we speak from our operator that the phones are ringing off the hook. So I want to coach you to make sure that you get one of these very few remaining seats for this particular event. If you do not get through on your first call, don't hang up and try to call back. What I need you to do is very simply leave your name and your phone number. As clear as possible, I would say it 2 times. And then our operator will give you a call back in the order that your call was received, which means that she is not going to pick up and take the caller before she has the opportunity to give you a call back to get one of those very limited seats remaining. The number that you're going to call is 724-766-0154. Cost today and today only, listeners, is $20. You have 35 minutes to give us a call at 724-766-0154 to get registered for this Monday's Cancer Killers event in either Gianna Villa's Family Restaurant in the South Hills or Bravo Family Restaurant in Cranberry Township. Tickets today and today only are $20. 724-766-0154 is the number that you are going to call. In the few short moments that we have remaining, if you have the diagnosis, if you have a family member that has the diagnosis, I want you to know that the fight is worth fighting. You can overcome. We see people do it every single day. We love you. We care about you. We want to encourage you to tune in every single week to Maximize Your Health Radio. I hope you have an amazing weekend. Be blessed.